How to forgive after infidelity. Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And obviously, based on the topic, we are talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness, particularly after infidelity, right? This is a very touchy subject. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with, right? Because oftentimes the process of rebuilding a relationship after infidelity is already difficult enough. But the area that most people struggle with is forgiveness. And this is on both sides, right? So the individual who was cheated on has trouble forgiving their partner, and the individual who did the cheating or was unfaithful has trouble forgiving themselves. And the reason why I say this is a touchy subject is because oftentimes there are people who watch these videos and say, it's not fair that we are trying to hyper focus on the individual who was cheated on and not focus on the faults of the individual who actually did the infidelity, right? Who actually was unfaithful. And that's not what this is about, right? So we never, ever, ever support infidelity, especially if we're talking about a monogamous committed relationship. It's obviously not something that is okay. And we don't take that lightly. But at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is that if you choose to work through the infidelity, it's going to take accountability on your part as well. It's going to take you taking a step back and exercising patience and empathy, because at the end of the day, as a free-thinking, independent human being, you are choosing to make the relationship work. And if you choose to make the relationship work, there are going to be things that you're going to have to face in regards to opening up, allowing yourself to be vulnerable again at some point. And I'm not saying that it has to happen right away, right? It's a process. Your partner has to regain your trust, and that's going to take time. But understanding that you will have to allow your partner to regain your trust. Because if you hold on to that resentment and that frustration, you're not really going anywhere, and you're not actually wanting to fix the relationship. What you are actually doing, either on a conscious or a subconscious level, is punish your partner for the mistake that they made. And the more you punish your partner, the less they are going to be able to forgive themselves for what they did. And therefore, they're not going to want to try to fix it, or they're going to try to fix it from a place of guilt. And when you try to rebuild something that stemming from a negative emotion, usually it doesn't end well. So I just wanted to clarify that. So back to what we were talking about, right? So the forgiveness aspect of infidelity. The first thing that you have to be willing to do is grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. It's painful. It's hurtful. The trust has been broken. This person that you invested so much time into, and this person that you trusted all of these years, cheated on you, and they hurt you. And it's totally understandable to take it personally, right? Because it does feel like a personal attack. But oftentimes what I have found is the individual who is unfaithful is struggling with their own demons. They have their own things that they are coping with, traumas that they have not dealt with, insecurities that they have, self-confidence issues, and they seek that attention and that validation somewhere else. And as unfair as it may be, and as much as it sucks and as painful as it is, that oftentimes is the reality of the situation. So allow yourself to grieve, cry, get angry, but understand that by allowing yourself to grieve, you are also allowing yourself to heal, because you cannot actually fully heal from a trauma, from a pain, from a hurt, unless you allow yourself to go through the process itself, right? Piggybacking off of that, which is number two, processing everything, processing the emotion, taking a step back, reflecting on your situation, evaluating your part in this and your partner's part in this. And this, again, is where I said it gets really tricky, because individuals that have been cheated on, who their partner was unfaithful and have not processed emotionally and have not fully forgiven their partners, get really upset during these sections where we say take a step back and take account for maybe some things that you may have contributed in the relationship that led your partner to infidelity. Now, I'm not saying that you are the one that pushed them to cheat, but If your partner was feeling unfulfilled in the relationship, if you were too consumed and busy with work and doing what you had to do, and maybe you were focusing more on the kids and work and paying the bills and doing all of that stuff, and you, in a sense, emotionally abandoned your partner, there are other reasons for why they may be seeking attention and validation somewhere else. And just because you chose to not cheat does not mean that your partner didn't choose that for themselves, even though it's the wrong way of pursuing it, even though it's the wrong way of approaching the situation, right? It still does not mean that because you think a certain way, because you process things a certain way, and because you are the way that you are, that your partner has to be the exact same. You are two different people who are trying to make a relationship work. So, processing the information, taking a step back, asking yourself the hard questions. How did we get here? Is there anything that I may have done that contributed to the infidelity? Did I emotionally abandon my partner? Did I reject my partner too often? Did I not communicate with them my emotions? There's a multitude of different things that you can be asking yourself, but also reflecting on your partner and deciding whether this is something that you want to try and fix or not. Because at the end of the day, if you feel like you did everything possible in the relationship and that you showed up 100%, and your partner still strayed, then you have to make the decision whether you want to make it work or not. And once you make that decision, then you can actually start to move forward and progress in either way. The third part of this is communicate, right? Having an open dialogue with your partner and discussing the infidelity. And it's completely up to you. As the individual who was cheated on, right? It is completely up to your discretion how much information you would like to get from your partner. If you were the person that was unfaithful, it's about understanding that you're going to have to provide whatever information your partner wants from you. And as difficult as that may be, as gut-wrenching as that may be, it is something that it is required, right? It is necessary in order for your partner to process and to heal properly and to feel like you are being completely transparent and authentic and honest, because at this point, you have nothing to lose. Rather, you put everything on the table so you can work through all of the issues than hide little bits and pieces. Because as you start to develop and as you start to gain trust again, if little things start to come out of the woodwork that you did not mention in the beginning, it is going to derail the process because your partner is going to feel like you are still withholding information, and they will attach that to the experience and the feelings that they were having when their gut was telling them that you were potentially cheating. So keep that in mind. The fourth one is understanding what forgiveness is, right? This entire video is about learning how to forgive your partner. And if you don't necessarily understand what forgiveness is, it's going to be very difficult for you to move past the infidelity, right? And a big part of forgiveness is having empathy, compassion, and a sense of selflessness. And that can seem really like, forget that. I'm not going to do that because that person hurt me. Why should I forgive them? But understand something. If you choose to not forgive them, it'll never work. If you made the decision to try to work on the relationship, part of that is forgiving your partner and forgiving yourself. Because oftentimes what ends up happening, if you are the individual who was cheated on, you think to yourself, how could I be so stupid? How could I be so ignorant? How could I be so naive? Why didn't I see this coming? I should have known better. And you attack yourself. So forgive yourself first and foremost, and then forgive your partner. And the process of forgiving is a difficult one. I'm not saying to forget what happened, but saying to your partner, you know what? As much as this sucks, as much as I am not happy with you, as much as you hurt me, I'm going to try to move past this and I'm going to forgive you for what you did, but you have to regain my trust. You have to show me through your actions that this is actually a priority to you and you want me. You want the relationship. And it actually has been proven scientifically that the ability to forgive reduces stress and depression and anxiety. And the reason why is because you're not holding on to negativity. You're not holding on to these traumatic experiences that are constantly replaying in your mind and are affecting you physiologically. So taking a step back and saying, okay, you know what? As difficult as this may be, I'm going to forgive my partner, but that is on your timeline. Right. So I'm not saying that you have to forgive your partner right away, but you have to understand that there will come a point in time in which you will have to really face your demons and say to yourself, I'm ready to forgive my partner. And however that transpires, however that organically happens, happens for you, happens for your partner, happens for your relationship. It is different. It's variable depending on the situation and depending on the people that are in that situation. The final one is finding meaning in it all. And I know this seems very cliche, very like, but truthfully, that's what it takes. Finding meaning in what happened. Because if you were cheated on, or if you cheated on your partner and you immediately go into the mindset of life is over, this sucks, nothing good is going to come out of this, it's hopeless, it's so much more difficult to process and to heal and to move on from the situation. But if you give it some sort of meaning, it will help you to continue to move forward. It will give you some drive and some motivation, because at the end of the day, everything in life is a lesson. And whether you choose to learn the lesson or not is completely up to you. If you guys like this video, if you related to this video, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you have an opinion about the video, if you feel like I may have missed something, if you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. I love to read what you have to say. Trust me, I read every single comment. Maybe you just want a little bit more information. You want some more detail. You can visit us at happilycommitted.com, where we have a multitude of different articles and blogs and videos related to this. We also have a detailed extensive course in our product section in regards to infidelity and dealing with infidelity. So if you are currently going through this, I guarantee you it is something that will help you throughout this process. So I highly recommend heading over and purchasing that product, because it will help you through this and it will change the dynamic of your relationship. It'll help you gain some insight into your situation and maybe view it from your partner's perspective, right? So I highly recommend doing that. Head over to the product section and purchase that right now. If you want to book a one-on-one coaching session because you just feel like your situation is very particular, we would be more than happy to support you through that and create a tailored game plan specifically for you and your partner. And again, you can book directly through the website, and you can book either with myself or any of the other amazing coaches that we have on the team. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you guys soon.